So this is my second video about shaving my head. This video is about what I was considering before making this decision and the things that got into me deciding should I shave my head. So I'm going to talk about some of the beliefs, some of the things that I've tried and have considered, as well as a conversation with my dad. So some of those myths and beliefs that we've all maybe heard before is, the old wives' tale about that the gene comes from your mom's dad, or that it's along your dad's side, or whatever it is. But my dad has very little hair on his head, so I was a little worried about that. So I was raised thinking that it was your mom's dad's genes that mattered when it came to hair loss. And I thought I was in the clear because my mom's dad had a full head of hair until he died. But that is a wives' tale. And people talk about, is it like related to the amount of testosterone that you have? But it's not that either. It's actually related to how your body deals with testosterone. So some of the receptors and enzymes that are involved with that. I've also been told that once you shave your head, that it's not going to grow back as good as it is when you shave your head. So that's one of those things that's kept me from trying to shave my head in the past. That's just that fear that, like, oh man, like this is point of no return. But regardless, I'm at that point where I'm ready to try it. So, and I don't think that's true anyway. So, but regardless, I'm kind of lazy sometimes. So when I do shave my head, I'm sure there'll be some point where I just have laziness and curiosity that I will grow back some of my hair just to see what it looks like. But I think it's really going to depend on how things look as to whether or not it's something that is my long-term look from like here on out kind of thing. Our hair is such a big part of our identity, and there is some insecurity for sure that's involved in hair loss in general, and making such a big change to your look, right? And as much as I don't want to be a vain person, the way we look does impact the way that people perceive us and see us. We are in a very visual world, and our looks do impact our first impression. So for me, I don't have other guys who I'm close to that are going through the same thing, so I really don't have other people to talk to about this, so that are going through it at the same time. So I called my dad and I asked him about his experience, and it wasn't very helpful. Because well, first of all, when he started to thin, he said he was a little older than me, so he was, well, younger than I am now, but older than when I started. So he was about 35. And at that point, he was a father to me and my sister. He was married to my mom, and they still are. And he had his career, and just like he was very secure in the direction of his life. Whereas I have none of those things. I'm single, I'm dating, so again, my image and my appearance matter in that realm. My future is much more unknown from basically every perspective. So, and the other thing is my dad doesn't always remember things that well when it comes to stuff like this, so he's like, ask your mom what she remembers, and she actually was able to confirm the same information. So both of them felt like it wasn't that big a deal for him when he went through it. Another difference was that he is surrounded by a lot of guys. He plays a lot of sports, he's on a lot of different teams. So I think that a lot of other people are going through the same kind of thing at the same time. So he maybe didn't feel as alone in it at the time. Oh, another thing that my dad was saying is that, at the time there were guys that were doing like the comb over, right? And that just looks horrible. And he just vowed to never do that. And his piece of advice was just, when you keep your hair short, it looks better. Like you're just owning you're owning the baldness, but you're you know, it doesn't look like you're trying to hide it with longer wispy hair on top. So which is something I totally agree with. I had a barber who liked to like leave a little bit extra on there, and it drove me crazy. Yeah, so I like to keep it short as well. I think it looks better. So like I said, that conversation wasn't overly helpful for me. So obviously I had to ask my friends what they thought. And that's kind of a mixed bag. Some are like, don't do it, don't do it. I don't think because they don't think I have the head shape for shaving my head. I think they just think my hair is okay the way it is right now. And that's cool, I appreciate that. And a couple other people were like, oh man, like, guys who shave their head are hot. I was like, that's cool too, and hopefully I'm that guy. But regardless, it's gotta be something that I'm comfortable with and secure with. Like I said in the last video, like it's always on my mind. So it's important that I am happy with this decision. So in the past, I've tried some of the other strategies. I've used different medications, so minoxidil or Rogaine, that's the topical one, as well as finasteride or Propecia. With Propecia, I actually noticed some sexual side effects, and I didn't want to be reliant on meds. Like, I don't want to take a medicine for something as trivial as this, but like I don't want to take something all the time for that anyway. With both of them, you need to use them in order for them to work. Like, so as soon as you stop, then you're gonna stop seeing benefit, and you'll probably like slide back to where you were before. I think I mentioned before, last year I discovered a company that had supplements, which is a Canadian company, which is that much more exciting. And I read about the pathways and stuff that they were trying to target, and it all sounded very promising. I think it was a great multivitamin, and there was probably lots of benefits. I did actually notice some thickening of the individual hairs, but overall I didn't see that big an improvement, and I tried it for 8 or 10 months. So that was kind of my last attempt at something before going with shaving my head. Of course, the other option is transplants, which seems a little bit on the extreme side, but at the same time, if I had the money, I'd probably try it. It is very expensive, and you have to do multiple grafts. In North America, it's a very expensive process. I recently just heard that in some other areas of the world, that you can get it for quite a bit cheaper. It's still multiple thousands per graft. I don't know how many grafts, it probably depends on the person, and you're gonna continue to lose it, so you have to like probably continue to do that anyway. I don't really have the cash kicking around for that. There's lots of other things. I'd rather use that cash for trips. Oh, one of the other things that I looked at last year when I was first seriously considering doing this was that there are some apps out there that are supposed to give you an idea of what you look like bald. And I can tell you that the apps that I looked at all kind of sucked. I've also seen that there's some services out there where you send them a bunch of pictures and they will digitally manipulate them to make you look bald, and it'll be based on what they can tell your head looks like it is. As well as like showing you pictures that you may be familiar with from different angles, and seeing what you would look like in those same situations, right? With no hair. So that was kind of ridiculously expensive, but I thought it was a cool idea. So that's something you're interested in or have tried, let me know in the comments below. So as I've been going through this serious contemplation in the last couple weeks, I was watching some of the YouTube videos and stuff while I was at the gym. And obviously I was looking around at other guys, and it was actually pretty interesting because when there's something that's on your mind, like buying a car, and there's a certain car that you're like interested in, then all you see on the road is those cars. Yeah, that was me at the gym. Like every other guy that was in the gym for that week were shaving their heads. And some guys look better than others, but really all of them look pretty good. there was a couple guys that were there who were balding or thinning, and again, like I mentioned, like to see them in those statuses, they all look fine. There were a couple guys, one guy in particular who had like the perfect shaped head to have a head shaved, so I'm really just hoping that that's gonna be me. You know what, the other thing is that I've really decided that I'm just gonna turn into Dwayne Johnson like immediately. As soon as it's gone, that I'm just gonna be more fit, the muscles are just gonna be popping, and it's just all gonna like fall into place. It's gonna be amazing. So Dwayne, can't wait to hang out with you as your twin. So 3 other things that have kind of been on my mind when considering this is shape of your head. I think it's a big freaking deal. And I generally, especially in the summer, I keep my hair very short. So, you know, people can get a pretty good idea of my head shape, and I have been told that it's gonna be alright. You know, I feel, and there's not any like crazy bumps or valleys or anything like that, no dents and scars and stuff. So in that way, I think we're good. Another thing that I just recently realized is that shaving my head is going to be a lot more effort than what I'm used to putting into my hair. In general, I do very little maintenance. Just a little bit of product to style some days, and like that's it. And wash it like here and there, and that's essentially it. But with shaving my head, it's gonna be, I mean, like with shaving my face, I don't even use like shaving cream or anything, but like with my head, I'm gonna need to probably. And from my understanding, it'll be probably every other day or every day, depending on what kind of result I'm looking for. And the final thing, and the reason that I'm shaving it now is considering the time of year. So it's spring right now, the sun hasn't been out too much. I'm not very tan, I'm basically got my winter coat on right now. So when it comes to that like weird tan line of like white virgin skin that's like going on when I shave my head, then you know, this will be less dramatic than at other times of the year. So that's been the journey in my head that I've been going through for the last while, that has led me to now want to shave my head and see how things look. Please comment below about your thoughts about my look, about what you think I'm gonna look like, about the things that I've been contemplating, about your journey. Obviously there's different reasons that people shave their heads, and I think they're all valid. So I've always thought that people who shave their head for whatever reason are pretty brave, you know. It's a big shift. And I am aware that when it happens, that you know, all my friends and family or even just acquaintances are gonna comment on it, like, whoa, why, or have their opinion, or oh, you shouldn't have done that, or oh, good move, or whatever it is, right? So I mean, that's fine. I also expect that people are gonna be like touching my head, which is cool because I like to be touched, so that's fine. So again, please like this video, share it with whoever, and comment below with your own thoughts. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next video where I actually shave my head.